Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Monday. Not any Monday, but what the hell day is it? Monday, January 30th, 2012, and this is Day 9 Daily number 410, where ordinarily we learn to be a better gamer, but it's Monday, so it's time to dick around. Yes! My favorite thing ever. Maybe you have a long day at work, perhaps you are not only a StarCraft 2 player, but also a powerful businessman, one of those people that perhaps created the, what was the movie that Denzel Washington was in, where he had his brain control? That's right, the Manchurian Candidate. Maybe you're that guy. You're implanting, like, little chips inside of brains. That's hard. I mean, you're trying to convince people to murder each other and assassinate, and you just want to unwind. You don't want to have to go home and try to figure out, what the best transition is in TVZ. For mid-game, nope, you just want to have an excuse to build whatever you want, and that is what Funday Monday is for, where we impose ridiculous constraints upon our gameplay and watch the fun things that occur. Today, we are doing the best offense is a good defense. That's right, it is the Mass Spinecrawler Attack Funday Monday. Its constraints are the following. Every single time you attack, you must involve Spinecrawlers in some way. Now, you might be thinking maybe a Spinecrawler Rush, maybe Zerg vs. Zerg is the only place where we can do this, but don't worry, I have the introductory game from you. It's between Steiny and Divertex. Let me actually back up to the good old 0-minute mark, so that way we can set the tone properly with Steiny hanging out up here in the good old Zerg lands up in the north. Down south, we have the probes that will, of course, eventually mine with sound. Cool. Excellent. Divertex, which I guess is a vortex of diversion, as we can even skip through the game, he's going to try to open up with, his nice little wall off with the Automaton 2000 on looking, and as we sort of just glance at the map, we see that the distances are so big that, goodness, how on earth could Steiny even consider doing some sort of Spinecrawler push? Even as we advance, Steiny thinking, doing the normal things. Look, he's getting an Evolution Chamber to avoid any sort of craziness with the DTs. He's getting a Roach Warren to help him only build roaches for the rest of the entire game. Zerg players, yeah, I know you're out there. What's your Zerg vs. Protoss strategy? Here's the trick. Roaches. It reminds me of that, what was that guy at the History Channel that has the hair like this, and he's like, aliens, right? That guy, roaches. Roaches? Yeah, you're going to build roaches. Cool. So Steiny's going to go ahead and start a little bit of that. And he's just on 2 base. Obviously detecting that his opponent has not expanded. No expanding at all, so of course I have to worry about all the 1-basingness. But watch this, watch this. Something cool is going to happen. Something magical will occur. Just like when you leave cookies and milk outside for Santa and you come back and he's eaten some. That fat, weird stranger breaking into your house. Look at what happens. Look what happens. We advance to the... the 8-minute mark. Look at the mini-map. Look at the mini-map. Look at the mini-map. Oh, look at the 10-minute mark. Oh, the 12, and you know what? At the 15-minute mark, suddenly Steiny, oh yes, look at the wall of Spinecrawlers. Oh, the walk of creep tumors as they slowly advance farther and farther forward. Steiny just opening up all his possible counterattack paths. Divertex can do no diverting anymore. He's sitting here comfortably oh no. It looks like he has discovered where the Western Front lies, and it lies directly touching his base. He's going to go ahead and clear off these creep tumors, which is going to put quite the impediment in the Spinecrawler push, but... roaches. Roaches, right? Am I right? Am I right? I know I'm right, because there's Steiny. And the best, of course, counter to roaches is to try to run. Oh, Spinecrawler's going every which way. At least the Colossi know how to get the hell out of there. And Steiny is not done yet. He's continuing to advance forward to plod and poke to deal the maximum hurt. He even manages to pick off a range 9 unit from low ground with range 4 units. We see that there's no attempt to expand if you're Steiny. None at all. He has more money than he'll ever need. He can't quite begin this attack yet because the Spinecrawlers do need to be participating. And there they go. There they go. The coast is clear. The Roach is now moving in, starting to do a little bit of clearing his face damage. And now he's moving up to the top. Oh, Steiny with style. Oh no, how do we get creep up there? That's right. You just dip a little bit of creep, and whoosh, the whole thing explodes. Steiny's trying to do a little bit of the push forward. It looks like a whole bunch of linebackers in slow motion trying to work their way in. Okay, come on. Micro through. Yeah, there you go. That's what we call drilling the front. Ladies and gentlemen, the best offense is a good defense. It is the spine crawler only Funday Monday. Now, there are some of you non-believers out there who are thinking things like, well, a pro would never let more in his base. Some of you might even be thinking, whoa, nice freeze frame on your encoder, Sean. And in either case, we're just going to watch another game. This was actually submitted not by your average everyday bear. This was a submission from Complexity's Gosu user against Grubby. Now, last week we talked all about how amazing Grubby is, and I figured that we would begin this Funday Monday by talking about how amazing Grubby is. Why would we not do that? Look, watch this guy. Watch him in action. Sure, Gosu user. Oh, by the way, let me just point out this name, Goswser. You see the W? It's two U's. Gosu user. It's not Goswser, which is what we were saying at MLG when he advanced quite far into the round. It looks like Goswser is doing quite well in the lower brackets, and this is always a fun challenge when you're at an event like this and you've never actually seen the name pronounced at all before. It's like a friend of mine in, I actually can't tell that story because I would tell his full name on air, but he had a really funky to say name, and the story is really funny if you know him, but you don't. So let me just tell you another story. It's chess related because my friend Eamon, he was on the chess team, right? So there was this they do a blitz tournament at Chess Nationals. They do this blitz before they do the main rounds because they give you like an hour on either side or an hour and a half in the main rounds. I mean, I wouldn't know. I always played really fast and sucked and lost quickly. But with blitz, you have a chance to play quickly, and maybe he'll suck and lose anyways. And also, it's closer to StarCraft, right? I wanted all board games to be more in my zone with that. So at this event, there was this guy named Jeff who was like the best player on our team, and he got 13th at the entire whole frickin' blitz thing. And he was one of these like total badasses who's like, yeah, I got another medal. He had like a box, like a corner of his room where he would just lay them flat like they were logs for the fire in his house, and he would just have stacks and stacks of fake plastic, cool, shiny trophies. So while they were doing the award ceremony, he had his legs crossed. By the way, I do have legs. Here's both of them. You can see kicking in the air. But he had his legs crossed, and he was just doing math homework because, I mean, obviously you had to take time off from school to go to these things, and he's a studious gentleman, so he's working and working and working and working. And then they say, and in 13th place, Jeff! And Jeff stands up and says, oh shit, my leg's asleep. So Jeff is trying to walk to the front, but he's like doing one of these things, trying to get up there because his leg won't work. And he can't just sit there and go, hey, yeah, thanks, bring it down. He'd be a jerk to do that. And I have never seen such like heartfelt applause. They're looking at him going, good job, buddy! Good job! Right? They thought he was like some autistic savant child who just played chess, marching to the front. He was getting patted on the back the whole way up and down. And then when he sat back down, he continued to resume his math homework. Total badass. Smooth, clean. He didn't even use the trophy. It was no problem. It was like a toothpick. Some huge one of these things. It was great. Anyways, that's how you pronounce Gosu user. Always bring it back around. So let's talk a little bit about why Grubby is amazing. EU is down. Ah, didn't you hear? Financial crisis. We can't afford servers anymore. Lol, Grubby. JK Blizz is maintaining. Don't you love that, JK? Can't you just imagine the huge beaming smile? I bet you Grubby was streaming right now. He's like, oh, they're gonna totally love this. The ladies are watching. Maybe my wife is tuned in. Love it. Love it. Gosu user, of course, is spawning in the north position. I guess I should mention that he is in this game. It's not just Grubby typing to a amorphous nothing, which is sometimes what we feel like we're doing when we're making posts on big sites. Maybe I'm just alone. Maybe these are all procedurally generated users. Now, on this map, I would almost always suggest that you do not go for hatch first, that you go ahead and build this pool early on, because as much as Protosses are leery of early expanding, no Protoss is leery of building a whole bunch of cannons and getting a free win. Just ask Huck. You cannon the shit out of Lucero when I watch you play. It's so great. So Grubby down there at the bottom, going to go ahead and do his little expanding thing. And what do we have here? Oh, no. Oh, that's right. We're going to be building a hatchery because as much as I love talking about my fun playing chess in high school and as much as I love talking about Jeff's leg falling asleep and walking around like an idiot like he was doing his Ministry of Silly Walks thing, it still is Funday Monday, and Goss Wasser, a.k.a. Gosu User, is definitely working by the constraints. He is abiding by what has been given to him. There's the happy face as Gosu User gets preemptively excited before he's even been spotted, much like when you are getting ready to give that gift to the girl you have a crush on and you're like, it's a box of chocolates, and she hasn't even been given it yet. You totally jumped the gun. You sort of prematurely got excited. It's hard to say the word prematurely and not go down that line of thought, especially given what I was talking about, but I didn't do it because the Day 9 Daily, we are a rated G show. Ding! Alright, let's go back. This is a short game. It's taken me a while to get through it, but we'll get there. We always do. As we return back to the game, Gosu User, excellent Gosu User. Looks like Grubby gonna build a cannon. Here comes a zealot. Oh no! Building a pair of spine crawlers and a queen. Oh no, the Zerglings have arrived. Gosu User, who's smiling big now? I guarantee you it's at least one of these players. Unless they're Kawhi Rice. I have never seen him be happy in a game ever in his life. We see Gosu User continuing to try to extend himself forward, and here comes the poking. Oh my god. Oh, Grubby's favorite kind of beer is certainly not Giraffe Head. Bam! There they are. Arriving. And even with the cannons and even with the gateway units, you're actually starting to realize that as goofy and silly as I am being throughout this entire process, this seems really hard to deal with. Look at Grubby trying to step forward in between the pokes of the spine crawler and get a shot off or two. The Zerglings just ran by like it was not no thing. There's the Stargate going down, but not as many options there for Grubby. This is increasingly becoming a popular strategy on those flat entrance maps, something like a Tal'Darim, something like a Metalopolis, a Shattered Temple. I can simply build a base outside of your base and smack you with my giraffe face. There are a few things that remind me as much of giraffes as these things. Look at them. Look at those silly little tubers. And of course, because Grubby is a class act, he types, nice, good game. Be a little bit more like Grubby. And you know, I don't just want to say that what Gosu User did was great, and that there are probably variants on it to make it even more economic and viable. Like, I don't know, maybe expanding to a gold. Isn't that sort of nifty? You could take this gold expansion and aggressively advance forward. Might take a little too long, maybe not. Queens and spine crawlers are so good in those early game stages. Pretty sweet. But of course, I want to give you the following suggestion. As we've just seen from Grubby, in even the competitive match, he's more than willing to make those jokes about the financial crisis and more than willing to make, I don't know, the nice, good game after he got spine crawler poked Zergling run by. Still was a pleasant-mannered man. I want to suggest to you the following. Do you rage? Do you tilt? Do you get mad when you lose? Are you ever playing a game and a guy beats you with something like, I don't know, spine crawlers in your base, or a 1-1-1, and you want to say something like, I don't know, go jump in a trash dumpster and ride it down a hill into a pit of lava, dickhead? You say something like that. Perhaps not as descriptive as mine, but almost certainly as peppered with four-letter words. Next time you are raging and you are really pissed off and you're really upset, I want you to take that same intensity and just give him a compliment he's not expecting. Let me get my glasses for that. That's right. Let's do that. Next time you're playing a game and he crushes you and you're so pissed off, you know what I want you to do? I want you to say something wonderful to him. You have beautiful teeth and you're going to marry a woman who will love you for the rest of your life and your children will be above average. And he'll be like, whoa, he'll freak out. Jesus, did I break my glasses? Okay, they're okay. Yeah, something like that. Your feet smell amazing, contrary to most people's feet. And when you cook, I wish it was a restaurant by my house. Whoa, and he loves it. Oh, I wouldn't mind being in a jail where you were the cop because you'd be really nice and you'd slip me cookies. Oh. Do that, right? Doesn't that make that more fun? Aren't you almost excited to lose now? It's a great, you get it out because you get that little typing thing. And I know that some of you are going to slip up. Some of you are going to be like, you would be the most wonderful parent, you fucking cockhead. You know, I know you're going to have the temptation to do that, but don't. Be like Grubby. Be a little sweetie pie. Let's go ahead and load up just one more game before we hop into the break. That was a good freeze frame. You like that one? Let's go ahead and hop into another game. Which I would say is an example of how you can do the spine crawler offensive and not necessarily even try to be too creative with your gameplay. In the top left corner, we have Prodoff Void, or Prod of Void. But I like Prodoff Void. I'm going to go ahead and build a 9-10 pool, something along those lines. The drone scout, of course, goes to the right direction because anyone who watches the Day 9 Daily ends up being a little bit more fortunate of a human being whenever they decide to make decisions. If they say heads or tails, it'll probably pop up on that side around 60% of the time. Now you'll notice that Proto Void is not necessarily doing anything too extraordinary. I mean, sure, he's like building a spine crawler out of sight range because for some reason the hatchery is the reverse tank. Tanks can do damage farther than they can see. Hatches can't see really anywhere to be able to deal with anything that's even remotely close to them. Kind of a compliment, I would say. There's the spine crawler now finishing up, and yeah, there's some Zerglings there. Now again, though this is not creative, it's important to note that Proto Void is gonna be creative with his words. Pizza says, "You bastard," and what has Proto Void said? Going out for pizza! Zing! Oh, that's so awesome. That is so good. It's none of this like, yeah, take that, jerk. No, I'm going out for pizza. Deflam! Oh, I didn't realize an insult could hit me in the kidneys like that. Will you put a target on your kidneys? That's not a good thing to do when you're going into a bare knuckle fight. There you go, going out for pizza. No problem at all. Oh, nibble, nibble, nibble. Nibble, 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 nibble. Yeah. And, of course, without any depth of creativity, Pizza says, love your mother, because he knows that we don't ever want to rage out negatively. We want to flip out in the most positive, delightful way, making it enjoyable to lose. So, of course, Pizza with a hearty, love your mother. She's a great mom, I will admit. What? We're going to go on to part number 2 after this 3-minute break.